Hello students, a very good morning. So students, in last class we have solved some numerical problems based on the topic interference of light. So the theory of interference we have revised that also, and as well as along with that the numerical problem and conceptual problems we have seen that. Now let's see the next topic of the chapter. First let's do the revision on that one. After that we will solve the question on that also. So the next topic we have, that is the diffraction of light. So what is now the diffraction of light after the interference phenomena? So we have naturally we have seen that when light starts to flow or start to pass through any narrow point, like in your room there is only some hole, then you can see through that hole light is entering and the light get bended from there. So whenever light falls on any surface, then there is bending occur in the light starts to get bent through that surface, and this property, this phenomena in one word is known as diffraction of light. So in general, if I want to make you understand diffraction phenomena, so we can call the bending of light is diffraction, but in more general, if you want to study this one, so in physics language, if you want to understand what is the diffraction, then to understand that one, the first topic that we need to know that when there is any obstacle in the path of light, then what is the difference that is caused there. So suppose we have any, we are taking the example of again Young's double slit experiment. So in that experiment, as we have two sources S1, S2, from these two sources light is going to be interfere, and here you can see the interference patterns we have seen that is formed, and even for the conditions for that interference pattern also we have seen for them. But what will be if we will just put any seed or any obstacle of some thickness in the path of the light wave. So that time when we will put the some obstacle, then light will start to get bent, and after that when light will go to that point, but light has to travel more path in comparison to before. So there is additional path difference starts to be created when we are putting some obstacle. So this is the narrow source of light or a pinhole for the light or in the room that I am talking. For that one, this is also be having like the obstacle in the path of the here light, and that's why light starts to feel additional path difference, and due to that there is a bending in light occur there. So it means for the same path as light is traveling extra path, then it has to be bent and it has to travel up to that one. So clear, I think it means that whenever there will be the obstacle, then there will be any this kind of bending of light due to additional path difference, and it has been seen by the experiment that due to addition of any seed in the path of light rays, lambda by 2 additional path difference is created. So it means now if we want to understand the diffraction phenomena, so it is just like same as the interference phenomena, when number of light waves that is emerging from the coherent sources and they are following all properties of interference already, they are going to superimpose over each other, but before just interfering or before mixing with each other, one of the wave, only one of the wave is suffering additional path difference due to the presence of obstacle in its path. Then if they will interfere, then they are providing the different kinds of pattern as they were providing before. So in interference pattern we have seen the patterns are equidistant, bright and dark fringes of equal illumination we are getting. But in this case, if we are seeing that in the this type of conditions, when obstacle is present, intensity of pattern starts to decrease when we are going away from this central maxima. Either side it starts to decrease, or even sometimes in one of the side complete dark we are obtaining. Like if obstacle you have put here in this side, only this side light can go, then obviously only this side we will get pattern, this side we will get shadow region. So this is called now that time shadow region. So this phenomena of light for which we are obtaining this kind of pattern, this is known as diffraction of light. So in one word now the whole concept that I have just told you, if I have to summarize, then the diffraction of light is also interference phenomena, in that one of the wave has to suffer additional path difference due to presence of obstacle. So this kind of means interference phenomena, anytime that can be converted into the diffraction phenomena by just addition of some obstacle in the path of any one wave. So we can convert it easily. So diffraction is not new. This is just like the same as interference, only this is additional thing we are doing for this one. And due to that one, bending is created, and again the waves are interfering, they are providing pattern, and that pattern is now known as diffraction pattern. So if diffraction of light is now clear, then let's see the next topic of this year, that is diffraction through the single slit. So in this case, if suppose we have only one slit, then what will be the condition for the diffraction, where we can get the diffraction pattern and which kind of pattern we will have, all the information we can see now. So our next topic is here, diffraction of light at a single slit. So for that one, let us suppose a parallel beam of light with a plane wavefront is made to fall on a single slit Ln. So suppose we have a single slit here. This single slit is Ln here. Now after this one, next thing, suppose the width of the slit, this Ln is A. This is A is the width of the slit. Now after this, the next thing, here this A is of here A should be order of the wavelength of light. Here one more thing, if we need to get the diffraction pattern, then always, or the light's bending, then we need to fall that light, that's wavelength is nearly equal to the order of the this source separation, or the order of the size of the slit here. Next one, after this, the wave blades, obviously from the single wavefront, from here these wavelets will start to go and they will meet on the screen. Now for that one case, suppose here one of the screen we have placed. So this is now our screen. Now after that one, again let us suppose here this is our central point, and now waves that are just coming here, obviously all the light waves are coming here from any of the source. Now these light waves they are coming from all direction, but suddenly they are feeling only this space is available to move from here. So when they will move from this space, then that time the light waves that are going from here, they will go directly here, and also some of the light waves will go from here to here or directly. But some of the waves from here, they will start to get bended from here to certain angle now. So if they will just be bending from here at certain angle in this way, so they will start to go on the screen. Now this kind of waves we can see here for two directions we have taken, even in number of directions these can be here. Now suppose that here the wave that is bended, that is at angle theta we have bended. Now for this condition, obviously it is also theta, all the angles that we have taken, this is now theta. Now we have to find out first of all to understand what will be the condition for the diffraction, and for that one we are going to suppose only this wave that is coming from this central point. Actually wave is bended from these two edges. We have taken this point only for the simplification of problem. So if we will take this one, then we will measure all the distances from this central point, that is O point, and also we can see now, suppose this is the point of maximum or minima, because these all waves that are going from here at theta angle, they will superimpose over each other, and due to their superposition now, after bending, they will provide either minima or maxima in the space. So let's find out first of all what will be the condition of maxima and minima in this case for this point P now. So to find out that one condition, what we can do, we have to find out additional path difference traveled by the wave here. So to find out that one, we can just draw a perpendicular on this one. So if we will draw the perpendicular, then the wave that are traveling additional path, that is this value from here to here. This is the additional path, and for this one, this is the additional path. So we can easily calculate what will be the path difference, because from here this point to this point, all the waves that are going here, that is reaching to the screen in the same time, because this is the wavefront that we have drawn in this space where all points are in the same phase. So now after that one case, if A is the saturation, then this angle is theta, so obviously this angle will be also theta from here. So we can calculate the distance, the path difference between the waves, that will be obviously equal to A sin theta. So you can calculate now, this is the perpendicular. So by using the triangles you can calculate. Now if you will calculate the path difference, then the path difference is calculated as, obviously this is n, suppose this is point Q. So this is now the path difference between the waves, that between this wave and this wave, that is LP and also NQ. For example, suppose these 2 points are very near, so they are getting over each other, then that time the path difference between these 2 waves are NC. So the value of NQ from the triangle NLQ we can easily get, that is A sin theta. Now to establish the condition of minima and maxima here completely, we need to first add the additional path difference lambda by 2 here. Now or also we can see first of all, as these waves are superimposing over each other, then we can use directly the condition for maxima and minima from the previous cases of interference. So in that case, the first one we will take, that is the condition for maxima. So as in the interference case, we have seen the condition for maximum was that the path difference was even multiple of lambda by 2 from here, that is it is equal to n lambda. Now for the case of maxima in the case of diffraction, as here additional path difference is created for lambda by 2, so we can write down the path difference in the case of diffraction pattern. So this is now the path difference for the diffraction pattern for the case of maxima, and this is for the interference here. So this is for interference, this is for diffraction. So these are now for the 2 cases we have. So we can write down it after solution. This is 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, and this is delta dash. Now delta dash should be equal to this NQ, because this is now the path difference between the diffracting waves or interfering waves. So if you will put the value, this is A sin theta is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2 from here, and we can also calculate just A from here, or we can leave it in this way. So we can see if the path difference is odd multiple of lambda by 2, then that time in diffraction pattern we are getting maximum intensity. Just you can say the inverse process of the interference here. And similarly we can find out the condition for minima also by using the same concept. So for the condition of minima here, the second one, for minima, as we know in the case of interference, delta is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. Means odd multiple of lambda by 2 if we have, then that time we are getting minimum intensity. Now for the case of diffraction, as we know here additional lambda by 2 path difference is created due to bending of light, then the whole of the path difference will be now 2n into lambda by 2, that is even multiple of lambda by 2 or n lambda. And if you will put the value of delta dash, this is the value of delta dash, that is A sin theta. So this is the general form for the conditions of maxima and minima in the case of double slit experiment. So diffraction slit experiment is easily explaining the conditions of maxima minima here. Now next one thing, if we will calculate or we will draw the intensity pattern with the distance, if we will start to move in both sides here from central maxima. Now this point will be of central always maxima point. Again you can see the waves that are reaching to O. If suppose these points are also near to O, so we can just take these points are getting superimposed over this O. So it means the time taken to reach from L to O, time N2O and N2O, all the same. So they are always in same phase, and whenever they will superimpose, then they will always provide you maximum intensity. So this is point of maximum. In each case, either we have interference or diffraction. Now after this, when we will start to move from the central maxima to left side or right side of the screen, or upward downward you can also say, then in that case how the intensity is changing, let's see that by using one of the graph between intensity pattern and the distance. So for that graph, as in this case, the central point that has maximum intensity. Now after this central point, the intensity starts to decrease continuously. So this type of graph we are getting for the intensity versus distance curve. So on this axis we have taken intensity, on this one we have taken distance on both of the sides. So this is here, suppose this is point our O that we have taken central maxima. Then this is lambda distance, 2 lambda distance. Similarly, this is now 3 lambda. This is equal to now this value. And similarly, if you will get the condition for the first minima. So as the first minima that is obtained even after the central maxima in both sides, we are getting the first minima. So as central maxima is separated or that is distributed on both of the sides, so by this equation you can find out it by using again or by just multiplying it by 2 times, because of central maxima is in both of the sides. So in that case, if you will multiply this by 2 times, so we are getting it a sin theta up is equal to lambda. Also you can get this formula by another method. Here I think this is clear. As in the graph you have seen, this is the central maxima point and intensity is distributed for the maxima in both of the sides. So if in one side we are getting the condition, this is lambda by 2. So for both of the side we have multiplied it by 2 and we are getting now this value. So after this one, again as the second condition that I am going to use, this is for the minima. So same formula you can get from that one. So as the condition for the first minima, because n is equal to 0 is not possible for the dark fringe. So only the possibility for the dark fringe is n is equal to 1. So for n is equal to 1, if the condition of minima we will get, that is a sin theta is equal to odd multiple, even multiple of lambda by 2, that is n lambda. So n value that is 1. So we will get a sin theta is equal to lambda. So from both of the cases you can see this one now. And here after this one, as in both sides we are having the minima. So the separation between the two minimas in both sides, that will be equal to 2 lambda. Or from here one more thing you can find out. If you will see the value of sin theta, so value of sin theta is obtained as lambda by a, and if theta is very small, so this theta sin theta can be replaced by theta. We can write this is theta is equal to lambda by a, and again if we will get the value of this theta by using the trigonometrical equation, so this theta is obtained as y by d. So you can now take the help of the figure that we have made before, and there you can calculate theta that will obtained as y by d from there by using the value of tan theta in the. Now after this y by d is equal to lambda by a from here. Now we can calculate the distance of the maxima or minima point. This is now the y is equal to lambda d by a. So this is now the width of the central maxima for one of the minima. Suppose this is now our maximum position. So this is the position for the first minima. This is position of first minima this side, and this is position of first minima this side. Again this is suppose position of second minima, and so on. So in this space this kind of pattern we are obtaining. So if we are going to solve this expression to obtain the value of y, that is the distance of first minima from this central maxima position, in one of the sides. So this is now our distance y we are obtaining. So from here to here y distance we are getting, then this side also the y distance we will get. So this is now the whole distance between two minimas, that is the width of the central maxima. Means central maxima is distributed up to the 2 times of the distance of first minima from the central maxima. So that will be w, if you will write, that is equal to 2y, and this value is obtained as 2 lambda d upon 8. So this is now our expression for the width of the central maxima that we can calculate easily. So this is all now the theory about the diffraction pattern and diffraction due to single slit. After that, the width of the central maxima, how the intensity pattern is distributed here, what are the conditions of maxima and minima, that all we have discussed. Now after this, let's start to solve some questions based on this one. And before that solution of the questions, one more thing we can do, that is the difference between interference and diffraction. Let's see that one. Let's summarize our result of the chapter. So as in the chapter, through the wave optics, two of the phenomena we have discussed. First one, that is diffraction of light, and the second one is interference of light. So we have seen there is a number of changes we have found from interference to diffraction. So first similarity, if I will say, in both of the phenomena are observing because of interference of light. The second or superposition of waves. Second one, similarity is here. All the necessary conditions are same for both, like coherent sources should be there, narrow sources should be there, distance between source and screen that should be large. So this is all, frequency of the wave should be same. So this is all the similarities between first interference and diffraction. Now the differences between interference and diffraction phenomena is that interference can be observed if we have any kind of any wavelength of interference, any wavelength of wave that are having same phase difference only, means they are fulfilling the criteria of coherent sources. If they will superimpose, they will just provide the interference pattern. But diffraction pattern is observed only because of those waves whose wavelength is equal to or nearly equal to the separation of the or width of the slit that we are using. Means like if any narrow slits we have, through that one wave has to pass, then only that wave can pass through that narrow hole or narrow slit whose wavelength is in the order of the value of slit width. So this is our necessary condition for getting the diffraction pattern. After this, the next difference here between interference and diffraction, that is line. The diffraction occurs due to interference of the bending of or bended beam. It means that diffraction is obtained whenever there is some obstacle put in the path of the one of the light wave. After that they are interfering, where interference is obtained only because of the superposition of two waves. Next one, in the case of diffraction pattern, the intensity distributed among both of the sides of the central maxima is continuously decreasing, but the intensity distributed in the case of interference pattern is equally same for all kind of fringes. Next case after this, in the case of diffraction pattern, we are seeing the central maxima has maximum width, whereas other one has different width. Means here the fringe separation is not same for all kind of the fringes, but in the case of the interference pattern, fringe separation is same for all kinds of interference patterns there. Next one, the condition of maxima and minima. So condition of maxima for the case of interference pattern is now even multiple of lambda by 2, but for the case of diffraction it is odd multiple of lambda by 2 due to additional path difference. The same reason is applicable for the condition of minima. For the case of interference it is odd multiple of lambda by 2, but for the case of diffraction pattern it is even multiple of lambda by 2. So this is all now the information about the difference between interference and diffraction pattern, how the interference and diffraction is different. Even diffraction is obtained from the phenomena of interference, but as only due to the introduction of any seat in the path of one of the wave, which kind of huge change we can see in the optics you have seen by the process or by the topic of the diffraction. I think you are able to understand now. If you will put any kind of obstacle, then which kind of effect can be generated even because of that one. So students, I think this is all clear. Then let's end our class here today with this revision of the diffraction of light. After that, in next class we will solve numericals also on the same topic. So thank you students for today.